Brilliant. You should have my screen up again. Just checking with Anna. I've got my microphone on as well. Brilliant. Right, I've got just gone back to the majors, and then I'll answer your question, Michael. But I just wanted to go back to the majors because it's really developed nicely. If you look down the bottom here, we've got the dollar CAD and the dollar Swiss. Now, what's interesting is when we were looking at the dollar Swiss last time, both the dollar and the Swiss were rising here, if you remember, and that's the reason it was in congestion. Now what's happened is the Swiss has carried on very strong buying in the Swiss franc, and that is counterbalanced with equally strong selling in the US dollar, and that's why you've got this terrific price waterfall. You've got rising volume, widening spreads, falling price action. That is what you want to see in a price waterfall. That is a classic price waterfall. If I was going to draw one, I couldn't create one better than that. It is a perfect example. In addition to that, what's also interesting is the strength of selling in the dollar. Despite the fact you've got the Canadian dollar and the US dollar moving in the same direction, you've got enough strength of selling in the dollar to actually drive this pair lower, but it's not the best pair because these two are moving in the same direction. So always be aware that the strength of the trend you're seeing may not be the strongest in that particular matrix of pairs. What you're looking for constantly is this divergence, strength in one, or strength and weakness in one and strength in the other. I mean, at the moment right now, we're spoiled for choice. We've got the Aussie rising very strongly, New Zealand dollar, the pound's kicked up, got the dollar falling strongly, Canadian falling strongly, and you've also got selling in the yen because I'm just checking over on the other screens. You've got the VIX that's is coming off. Yesterday we had quite a strong rally in the VIX, but this morning it looks like it's ticking lower. So that's why you're starting to see selling in the yen, and that'll be reflected obviously in terms of global sentiment. The other interesting facet of this matrix right now is you've got volatility on every single chart. Cable, Aussie, Euro, dollar CAD, New Zealand dollar, dollar Swiss. Every single one has got a volatility trigger on it. Again, it's a powerful signal. You know, if you've got that across the matrix, it's giving you, if you're trading euro dollar and you see it on 5 other related pairs, you can be pretty certain that you're either going to see a reversal or you're going to see congestion. So it's another facet. And finally, just to wrap up, obviously you can see the massive injection of volume here. So we know the big operators and the market makers are in here. They are playing for sure. And you've also got that reflected in the green of the tick speedometer, which has rotated back into, you know, full spectrum color. So everything is telling you what is going on. If you're in, you need to decide what to do. It's telling you what is going to happen next. Now, very, very quickly, I'm going to roll over on to just answer that question. We start with the currency, multiple currency strength indicators. Hold on one moment. Just drop that out the way. Here we go. This is what we're seeing. And I've got, let's just take that out the way, move that down. This is on 1, 3, 5, 10. So this is pretty quick, but the principles are pretty much the same. What you're seeing right now is heavy selling of the dollar. You've got the euro up here, pretty much overbought, and you've got these others climbing up as well. They will ultimately reach there almost certainly. So in terms of what you're looking for in taking a trade, then you start here. Obviously, you start with the charts. It's a combination. It's a balance between using the charts and the indicators. You know, the CSI, if you like, is a very quick, it's a very powerful radar on the market, guiding you to which charts to go and look at and which ones to ignore for the time being. And you're constantly flip-flopping back to the CSI, back to the charts, because if it's good enough to get you in, then it's good enough to get you out. You know, if you're in a position, if you're in a short position, you start to see your particular currency rebasing at the bottom here and starting to tick up, as indeed is the Canadian dollar, as is the Aussie at the top here, as in New Zealand. Once you start to see that move through these time frames, then, you know, that is going to develop into a longer term trend or reversal. If you're jumping on a trend, then you're jumping on the crosses, where you've got the Aussie rising and the euro falling, for example, or New Zealand rising and the CAD falling. You know, that is a trend that's underway. So you're jumping in there. Your stop loss can be much tighter. But if you're going to trade reversals, you're up at the top here. You're looking for reversals from overbought and oversold, but you have to set your stop loss wider. Now, if we track over onto the currency array, let's just see what's going on in terms of the currency arrays on multiples. I've got these on slightly different 3, 5, 10, and 15. What are we seeing right now? Well, at the moment, you know, it's pretty obvious what we're seeing. It's just very strong selling of the dollar, and it's reflected across the array because everything is as you expect. All these currency pairs are down at the bottom, and all these currency pairs are up at the top. In other words, it's a full house of dollar selling. Some of these will be counterbalanced obviously by strength of buying in the primary currency. Some will be less so, and that will be reflected in the slope of the angle, if you like, the angle of inclination, the slope of the line. The steeper the line, the stronger the trends. They've got very strong trends in cable, Aussie, same here, same here, same here. Euro dollar's climbing. This was our dollar CAD down here. So it's giving you a straight visual. Now, what will happen when you get a reversal in sentiment, and of course, also down the side here, you've got these little signals which tell you when a currency pair rather than a currency is either approaching an overbought or an oversold condition. You can see here we've gone to bright blue, so that's telling us, excuse me, that's telling us that we are now at potentially an overbought situation. The same with cable here. Where it's in brackets and blue, it's approaching. Where it's in bright blue with the brackets removed, then it's at. But that does not mean it's a signal to reverse. It just simply means you go to the chart, you look at it, you look at the volume, you look at your other indicators. You know, is this potentially setting up for a reversal trade? You've got the same down here in terms of dollar CAD we looked at. That's now potentially an oversold situation. And that's how you do it. And across the time frames, whether you're using 3, 5, 10, 15, or whether you're using an hour, 4-hour daily, whatever it may be, the principles of this are exactly the same. In terms of the currency matrix, let's have a quick look at the currency matrix. What that's telling us, just drop that away. This is on similar sort of time frames. We've got it on 3, 5, 10, and 15. Now, one of the things, and it's a similar picture, obviously, one of the things we have developed for TradeStation, which we're bringing over onto this platform and indeed all the others, is the data to give you information about whether this figure up here is at an extreme or where it is in relation to a high or medium. So what you'll see on this indicator, certainly on TradeStation, and as I say, we will bring it over onto the others in due course, is it'll actually print a level. Now for here, for example, it might be saying that a high of the last X number of bars is 30, or it might be at the average, it might be at the median of 25. So it'll give you a range. It's a little bit like the 80-20 on the CSI. It just gives you a metric of what is, where we're approaching or where we're reaching in terms of overbought and oversold from a currency pair perspective. It's powerful because it just gives you that level to gauge on what is going on and whether the figures you're seeing here, is 18 down at the bottom here, is that average or is that high? Is it ultra high? What is it? And in that context, you then get a metric by which to go and look at the other charts in terms of oversold, overbought, and whether there's going to be a reversal setup. I've isolated out on the dollar, and again, as you can see, we've got the perfect combination here. So basically, it's telling us that the market per se at the moment is selling the dollar. And that's the process you go through. It is a constant process. As I say, if you're going to trade reversals, just going back onto the multiple currency CSIs very quickly, there we go. If you are going to trade, here we have the dollar, it's still falling, still falling. If you're going to trade reversals like this, then you have to set your stop loss wider because you've got to allow for the buffering that is going to go on. Inevitably, there will be buffering. Inevitably, there will be congestion. Inevitably, there are little bit pullbacks, may go a little bit higher, lower, what have you. But ultimately, you're getting into the trend early and jumping on the trend before it starts. Now that may suit you, it may not. You may be more comfortable trading a trend that's already underway, in which case your stop loss is going to be that much tighter. If you're trading reversals, you're going to have to trade with a wide stop loss. On a breakaway, if you're trading congestion phases, just go back to the multiples. Where are we? Currency matrix, where are we? Majors, there we are, that's the one I want. If you're going to be trading out of congestion, just pop this one up. If you're going to be trading out of congestion, then the positioning of your stop loss is governed by your risk tolerance and also by the levels. So if you were trading out of this congestion phase, for example, looking for this for a downside move, which is a terrific move, you've got weakness coming in here, that's for sure. You've got high volume, weak candle. Those are candles to look for all the time in the downtrend. Off we go down to the downside. Now we've got volatility. Now we're moving into congestion. It's what we expect to see. It's as simple as that. But in terms of placing your stop loss up here, you might look at it above this level, or if you're comfortable adding a wider stop loss, you put it above here. And that's the beauty of breakaway trading, because breakaway trading sets those levels for you. It tells you where to put your stop loss, and you've got that massive protection barrier in place of price, which will protect you in the event of a pullback. Rapid move through there. Apologies, we are running out of time. Very quickly, let me just highlight the various places. That's Forex Factory. This is where you'll find the education program. It's on quantumtradingeducation.com. It is called the Complete Forex Trading Program because that's precisely what it is. It tells you all you need to know to trade these markets with confidence. You've got the 5 core modules there. You've got relational fundamentals, psychology is where you start, the technical deep dive into VPA, and the mechanics of trading. It's a massive module. Down below, you've got over 200 hours of video there, pulling it all together, how to use the indicators, topic webinars. There's a webinar library. There's a massive number of VPA chart examples to get you started. And finally, of course, down at the bottom, we've got the VPA Traders Group, the private forum, which is hosted by Anna and myself daily. We're in there, so you're more than welcome to join that and answer questions. We will support you, as indeed will the other students. You'll find all the indicators over here at quantumtrading.com, MT45, NinjaTrader 78, and TradingView. TradeStation is due out shortly. We're working on the support pages, which is a massive project, but bear with us. It'll be on TradeStation 9.5, which is the relationship with interactive brokers, which is the feed driving the live data. It's a great partnership because you've got the combination of a deep discount brokerage in interactive, and you've got the power of the TradeStation platform. And TradeStation version 10 and above, TradeStation Securities, that's got everything on it, all the bells and whistles, the whole schmoz. Over onto Anna's site, you'll find that at annacooling.com. You'll find all Anna's analysis there. You'll find all the books. They're in Kindle, they're in paperback. You can find them all on Amazon, and also all the links to all the other sites as well there. That's it. Sorry, it was a bit of a run through there. We will be back tomorrow, Thursday afternoon at 5:15 US time. So we look forward to seeing you there. And next week, we'll be back to Tuesday again as usual. So really appreciate you coming along today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. Hopefully, maybe you've learned something you didn't know before. And enjoy the rest of the trading day. It's certainly going to be interesting. We've got to remember we've got FOMC tonight, so just be careful in terms of trading the majors right now. Risk on, risk off. It's kind of flip-flopping at the moment, but there's probably going to be a long wait until we get to the FOMC tonight. Our time at any rate. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much for coming along, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.